Tell us a story, Darkman, please! Yay!
Ugh, there's too much light. My blessed myth forsaken! These fairy tales are constantly so dull and dry. A lifeless dream, how warm, bleak, how crossed and dark. To make a grim, that's my hallmark. My guts fill up with pretty tales. Their prissy cuteness never fails to make me feel, to lose my wits, to knock my teeth and give me fits. Now the rancid, stale and foul despise the happy ending. Gross and nasty make me howl, though they may be offending. I hear through tales of light, of fear and woe, bring back the light. I ain't dumb luck, a tore up tuck, my humble goal is to run. When a total stranger offers a poor miller vast wealth in return for something of obviously lesser value, should it not arouse suspicion? Of course it should, but today's dunderhead, a man with as much imagination as a lump of coal, isn't even a teeny bit skeptical. There's no way but poorly for things to go for such a idiot. The miller gathers firewood to supplement his puny income.
Why waste time in the forest? I'll make you rich as Croesus if you give me what stands behind your mill.
A hard bargain, sir, for I dearly love that apple tree. But for the wealth you promise, I give my pledge.
I'll return one day to collect what's mine.
Old Scratch has returned to collect his due. Turns out the miller's daughter was standing behind the mill, beside the apple tree.
Her tears have made her sopping wet. I can't take her like that.
She weeps because she has no hands.
You cut off her hands rather than forfeit your own life. You could have taken her place.
You fiend! I did what I had to do. You've come 3 times, and because she's wet, you've rejected her. Now she's safe. I'll care for her. She will be grateful.
Grateful? I think not. What would you do in her place? Might murder be on her mind? It ought to be, having beat the devil, whose aversion to water is frankly not that well known. The girl is on her own. She has no use for her craven father. Starving, unable to work for food, she happens upon a royal orchard. What luck!
Though it is forbidden, I'll eat just 1 pear to slake my hunger.
You are beautiful, so I will not have you executed for molesting my royal pears. In fact, I love you, despite your handlessness. I'll have some forged of silver made for you. You shall be my wife and queen.
The king is off to war. That's mainly what kings do, and they often do it poorly.
Goodbye, queen. Make the baby a boy. Be nice to mother. See you soon.
Goodbye, king. Dispatch the enemy with ruthless cruelty and hurry home. We'll roast a goat on your return.
Alas, this was not to be, for the devil is first and foremost a mischief maker with no sense of humour. Often the devil altered letters between the king and queen with his own, dare I say, diabolical messages. The messenger is his unwitting dupe.
If this message from her loving husband doesn't result in her death or exile, I will consider changing my career.
The queen has abandoned the palace. Thanks to the devil's work, she thinks the king wants her dead. Once again, she is on her own, though the silver hands provide some assistance.
Nature is fine, though a bath would be nice, and decent walking shoes, and some bread. I wonder what father is doing.
Thinking of that old reprobate must have cost her.
Don't cry, father. All is forgiven. You're not the first to sacrifice a child's body parts, and you won't be the last. Is there any bread available?
I'm sure there is. I believe I could get you some for a decent price. Those lovely silver hands will be worth something.
Indeed. Oh, look, there's my husband, the king. Your Majesty, do you still wish to cut out my tongue and eyes?
No, Queen, I want you as you are. Come, let us return to the palace and have after.
What an extremely large load of bovine excrement. Once again, an adult, a ridiculous excuse for a parent, barters a child's welfare to secure his personal gain, and is not held accountable for his atrocious actions. If you'd like to see father pay a higher price for maiming his daughter, lay on. A miller makes a deal with the devil, wealth in exchange for what stands behind his mill. Make it rotten. Let's move!
Welcome back to American McGee's Grimm. It's been quite a while, but yeah, welcome to the Girl Without Hands, where, well, Grimm explained the tale quite easily. For now, we're about to, well, make this deal with the devil quite a bit more interesting, and probably make this father come out to be probably more fitting to be desperate enough to make any sort of deal with the devil at all for what lies behind the mill, as they say. Then we go make everything a bit more rotten, as they say, eh? Yes. It's actually kind of this story is actually a cool one. I personally like this one. Maybe a little different from what I usually do, because this, I forget, the rabbits actually come flying disembodied heads. I totally forgot about that. Amazing. Fly away. Also, the devil himself now changes form. Something more fitting, really. Wouldn't you say? I think so. Anyway, what was I trying to say before? Oh yes, this tale is actually probably amongst one of my favorites of this game. It does a lot of cool. It does some very cool things that hopefully you guys will see pretty later on. One of the things I hope to, one of the things I will show, you guys will see eventually. This will probably be different. I'm not sure how I'm exactly going to split this episode, because it works differently in the way of, instead of the usual 6 stages, there's 7. So I'm gonna have to be a bit more clever in terms of how I'm gonna divide these two up. I'll find a way. Also, welcome back, crazy savage axe-wielding murderer. I have missed you in your crazy ways as you go out and utterly murder people. Shame you guys don't do that all the time. That's always a shame. Yes. As you can see, even just on this one fraction of the island, where we haven't even gone anywhere far, we have almost already finished what we met the quota to reach rotten, and already the island's already looking cheery and wonderful. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, it's already like bleeding. It's like leaking blood and everything. There's just, yeah, it's paradise. Look at those little crazy axe murderers. They're already like feeling so happy, as axe murderers should. Also, there is a secret in the water, which that's basically how you get it. Oh. It's pretty easy to get, but you know, instead of a silly person like what we did, which, you know, you could try to make that jump, which honestly I don't know why you would, because it gets a little silly to do that. We could just take the bridge and get around that way, but not before we, you know, grimmify the mountains, you know, as you do, because again, we are going for all the dark. We're going for complete and utter darkness, because, well, if we're gonna make this world as miserable as we can, might as well see the full scope. In essence, get all the bunny heads to fly away. I love the fact that their houses do that.
Don't delay, but stop away.
Get that bridge? Yeah, I can get the bridge. Of course I can. All parts of my evil plan. Good. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot left to this level. This is actually a shorter one. Wait a minute. Okay, no, that's just part of the other island. I was about to think that somehow I missed a villager and he was just cleaning up the mess over there. To which I was going to get rather cross with that man and have to give him a few words. By words, I mean Grimm the shit out of him. Which I'm just gonna do, which I'll probably do anyway because that is just my job.
Like, turn the rabbits into flying disembodied heads. Now, nasty.
Because it works that way. And yes, and you shall go away forever. Mr. Happy Man, your misery ends here. Also, there's a secret over there. I believe the way you get it is actually quite simple actually. Should I get up there? Yeah, actually, yeah, we'll get over there quickly. I'll show how to get it. I need a... thank you, good. I was getting worried there thinking that it was not gonna work, but thankfully it didn't. What you need to do... yeah. We need to basically ride this. Be wary of the logs, for they will utterly destroy and ruin your day. And well, you get your secret there, and we'll just let's just end this off. We can make our way there very quickly and continue onwards with the story of the girl and how she loses her hands like that.
Stupid flippin' gate. Who's your papa?
And that was the end of that scene. We will continue onwards right now, in fact.
The miller chops off his daughter's hands. The cowardly wheat grinder has no idea that his brutal act will temporarily save her from Satan. He's just looking out for number one. Well, at least someone's suffering. But why should she be the only one? Make it nasty. Do it now!
Oh, Grimm, you always know exactly how to make me feel better. So yeah, welcome to a new variation of this area that is actually really cool, because we're at the Millers. We're going to basically make everyone suffer. And as a cool trick that's here, there is, well, wind added onto this. So when going in a specific direction, more so like roughly in this way, we jump a little farther because, well, that's the way the wind is blowing. Whereas if we go in the opposite direction, we struggle a bit more and have to move a bit, and we have to struggle against it because, again, all because of the wind. We have a variety of things. I swear to God, the wind is going to be my mortal enemy while dealing with all this because, well, reasons are silly. But this is actually where, in my case, in my opinion, things start getting start becoming really cool, because windmills themselves start becoming proper windmills. And how do you make proper windmills? Well, you start putting some blades onto that nonsense. Make them real horrid. Sometimes the wind can be really hard to move away from. Also, we get a few pentagrams, because it just adds to that lovely homely touch. Because why not? I mean, if you're gonna be making guilds a little scratch, might as well go the full-on route and have those those rituals of sorts. I don't remember if this gets rid of the wind or just makes things a bit more complicated, but I do remember things getting pretty interesting very quickly, as well as the wind becoming kind of a pain in the ass as this stage continues. But in the meantime, let's just continue making demon windmills, especially this one right here. These happy little windmill towers, we make them real special and amazing, as well as the wind start going faster. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually get murdered by those windmills if you try flying near them. I don't fully remember, nor do I kind of want to test.
Grimm's
Nasty.
now. But stomp it.
Okay, good. No, it doesn't. It does not kill you. Fun fact, that is good to know. I think they are able to murder people, though. Because I think that was the sound of some unfortunate soul getting shredded to bits by these wonderful windmills. And as you can tell, this field is already looking pretty terrible. All kinds of horrid pollutions and a plague and pestilence that is flying about here, eh? Which in my case, really, it's quite lovely, really. I see no real problems with it. And it seems I just murdered the shit out of that puppy. It's a shame, really. It's a shame. But I mean, I guess in my defense, the dog kind of knew what he was signing up for. I mean, he was a cleaner. He was being evil. I mean, if I didn't do it, he would have tried cleaning up, I think. Jeez. Plus, the puppy would have been very depressed trying to, like, no longer have his cleaning duties. So really, I'm doing him a kindness, actually, by getting rid of him. Also, yes. We can now see how they look. Our maiden looks a bit more miserable, as she actually should be. And also, the dad is looking more rightfully git. But with that said, windmill transformation!
We're all blown in the wind.
And that was stage 2. So, with that said, let's continue onwards to scene 3.
After abandoning her home, this abused and starving freak happens upon the royal garden and steals a pear. Maybe the guards will stab her.
I can hope, can't I?
Make it rotten. Do it now.
And yes, welcome to the King's Pear Garden. If you had any doubts of when I mentioned of Grimm having a special hatred for pears, well, it's especially true here. He absolutely does not like pears. I guess in a sense you could say he utterly loathes and despises the fruit. As for why? Well, I mean, they're pears. They're weird, they're strange, they're bizarre.
They don't fit rightfully in this world as...
At least I would imagine he would I imagine that is how he would put it into logic, which, when you think about it, makes perfect sense, actually.
It's like, no, go away, you horrible pears. You don't belong in this kind of world of ours.
And again, also the statue shoots laser beams, which is fantastic, actually. Mostly because it gets rid of annoying cleaners from doing their job, which really is good for us. It allows us to do our property, which is making everything as it should in this wonderful world. So yeah, if you're able to get these little statues up so you can start making sentries, it does make life very, very easier for you. Because no annoying cleaners get in your way. That way we can start focusing on, well, making quilted arrows and tentacled bushes that have thorns, briar thorn walls, and other assorted objects. And finally, more importantly, wicked guards that, I think if I'm not correct, that statue just flat out murders them. And you are seeing that correctly over there. We're not done with the garden, so touching the pear is not the end. There is still much more for us to deal with.
Kind of a slight hint and a spoiler for me to show.
But you know what? The way I see it, it's worth it in the end. So let's just get this part of the garden as clean, as beautiful as we can possibly make it. That way, we won't have to worry about these fools getting in our way and ruining all of our fun, because, again, these guys are just horrible in doing it. And we have to work hard to make these places Okay, I'm sorry, that was actually perfect. That cleaner just getting destroyed was worth every bit of it. And yes, that is the same king from before, only he looks a bit more, dare I say, lust-driven. Who's to say? Also, you are going away now. Now let's decide, let us change the path.
The king invites the handless one into his castle. She steals his pears, but the king invites her in, and immediately decides he wants to marry her. A thief with no hands? Perhaps it's a good match, as he seems to have no brains. A fine royal couple. Make it disgusting.
So yeah, pears are magical, and thus very evil, which is why Grimm does not like pears, because, well, pears seem to always get into his stories, and he doesn't rightfully like them for that reason, which, you know, is fairly understandable when you think about it. I wouldn't want no sneaky pears getting in my way. So instead, we're just going to we're going to make a hedgerow very, very disturbingly evil. You know, I think for the second time or so we've done so. Ah, the walls, perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna fix the walls over there, so I'll probably cut that bit out. So yeah, I'll see you back in the maze. Bye. It's better in my opinion. I feel, at least. I don't know. I'm a weird man. My tastes are stranger, so what can you do? But with that said, we do have our goal in mind, which is that the hedge art of a wonderful elephant that we will be making miserable eventually. Also, that king has more lust in his eyes. Perhaps he wants to murder the perhaps he has his own reasons for wanting to marry her. Who's to say? I'm sure she probably is gonna. I'm sure she'll have some advantages to wanting to marry a king. Perhaps some revenge for being so horribly wronged by her dolt of a father. Which, to be fair, would you blame her for that? I mean, for God's sakes, he was save his own skin and she decided to lob her hands off. If anything, I feel sorry for the devil. If anything, he got screwed on the entire deal. I mean, you gotta think, if you're gonna be an evil, like, Dominion overlord, you gotta work hard for this kind of stuff. And with that, there was a secret hidden that I could not find, but that is neither here nor there. And I think, because I know the next scene, which is probably one of my favorite scenes of this entire game, I'm gonna hold it off for the next time. So, until then, everyone, it will be coming very soon. Yeah, I'll catch you guys then. Bye.